They raised me in a mansion, but I slept on concrete. They called me family, but I wasn't allowed to sit at the table. And the night everything broke open, it took one stranger at my brother's wedding to look at my face and whisper a question that shattered my entire life. Do you know who your real mother is? My name is Brianna. I'm 23 years old, and for as long as I can remember, I wasn't a daughter. I was labor. Every morning, 5 a.m. sharp, no snooze, no mercy. I was on my feet, scrubbing marble floors that weren't mine, cooking breakfasts I was never allowed to eat, folding designer clothes I'd never wear. While my brother Brandon slept in his king-size bed upstairs, I lived in the basement. Not a guest room. Not a finished basement. A concrete floor. No windows. A thin mattress that smelled like mold. The furnace rattling 3 feet from my head, breathing hot air in winter and choking heat in summer. That was my room. And my parents, Gerald and Donna Patterson, had an explanation for it. They told me something when I was little, something I believed for over 2 decades. Some kids are born to be loved. Some kids are born to serve. You're the second kind. They said it like it was just how the world worked. Like gravity. Like the weather. So I didn't question it. Why would I? From the outside, the Patterson house looked perfect. 2-story colonial in Fairfield County, Connecticut. Manicured lawn. European cars in the driveway. Neighbors who were surgeons, hedge fund partners, attorneys. Inside, it was a quiet kind of hell. Gerald came downstairs every morning around 7, Wall Street Journal tucked under his arm, Rolex catching the light. He never looked at me. Is it done? He'd ask. Yes, Mr. Patterson? The coffee's weak. Fix it tomorrow? That was it. That was our relationship. Donna wasn't much different. Cold smile, tight lips. Always correcting, always watching. I wasn't allowed to call them mom or dad. That was rule number 2. Rule number 1, I never sat at the family table, not once. I ate standing by the sink, scraps, cold leftovers, whatever was left after they were done. When I was 14, I finally asked why. Donna laughed. Actually laughed. Oh honey, she said, waving her hand, the table only seats 3. It seated 6. I knew because I polished every chair every single day. That was the night it clicked. I wasn't part of this family. I was something else. Brandon, my brother, lived a completely different life. Private school. Lacrosse team. A BMW at 18. Credit cards with no limit. I didn't even have a driver's license. Or a birth certificate. When I asked about school, Donna said my documents were lost in a fire. Too complicated to replace. Better if I stayed home. So I taught myself to read from old magazines. Learned math by counting grocery change. No school. No friends. No life. Just rules. They were written on an index card and taped inside my basement door. Don't sit at the family table. Don't call us mom or dad. Don't leave the house without permission. Don't talk to strangers, and if I broke them, there was a cane hidden behind the cereal boxes in the pantry. Gerald only had to use it twice. After that, fear did the rest. I tried to run once. I was 16. I saved $17.32 in coins and walked 3 miles to a bus station. The police brought me back. She doesn't have any ID, they told Gerald. Is she yours? Gerald smiled. Warm, convincing. Our daughter. Troubled. Mental health issues. Thank you for bringing her home. They left. He locked the door. I didn't eat for 3 days. When he finally opened the basement door, he leaned close and whispered, "Without papers, you don't exist. And if you don't exist, no one will ever believe you." That's when I stopped trying to escape. Years passed. I disappeared inside myself. Brandon didn't hate me. He just didn't see me. Brianna, coffee. Brianna, clean my room. That's our housekeeper, he told his friends. Housekeeper, not sister. I didn't even look like them. Brown hair, brown eyes. That was the Patterson look. Mine were green, almost emerald. When I asked about it once, Donna slapped me and told me to stop asking stupid questions. So I did. Then came Brandon's wedding, a 200,000 event at the Ritz-Carlton, crystal chandeliers, orchestra, 5-tier cake flown in from Manhattan. I thought, stupidly, that maybe I'd be a bridesmaid. Instead, Donna handed me a black dress and a white apron. "You'll be helping with service," she said. "Smile. Stay invisible." And that's when it happened. At the rehearsal dinner, A man I'd never met. Victoria's father watched me from across the terrace. Not glanced, watched. His face went pale. He approached me slowly, voice shaking. "What's your name?" "Brianna." "And do you know who your real mother is?" I didn't know it yet, but that single question was the crack that would split my entire life wide open. The morning of my brother's wedding, I woke up at 4:00 a.m., not because I was excited, not because I was nervous, but because servants don't get to sleep in, even on the day their entire life is about to explode. By midnight the next day, my family would be exposed, a federal case would be reopened, and everything I thought I knew about myself would be gone. But at 4:00 a.m., I was still invisible. The house was silent when I crept upstairs. No laughter, no music. Just the quiet hum of wealth pretending to be peace. I started breakfast the way I always did, eggs Benedict, fresh, squeezed orange juice. Gerald demanded perfection on important days, and today was the most important day of his life. Not mine. By 6, the dining room was set with the good china, white tablecloth, silverware polished until my fingers burned. Then Donna ordered me upstairs. Victoria's wedding dress hung in the guest room closet like something sacred. Vera Wang. $12,000. Hand-beaded. Cathedral train. I steamed it carefully, terrified of leaving even one wrinkle. "Don't touch the beading." Donna snapped from the doorway. "That crystal costs more than you." "Yes, Mrs. Patterson." She crossed her arms, watching me like a hawk. "At the hotel, you'll enter through the service entrance. I don't want anyone seeing you walk in." I nodded. "And don't embarrass us," Gerald yelled from downstairs. "Brianna, where's my coffee?" Donna smirked and walked away. That was the moment something shifted in me, quiet, small, but permanent. The Ritz-Carlton ballroom looked like a fairy tale built for people who had never known hunger. 30-foot ceilings, crystal chandeliers, white roses cascading from every surface. 200 gold chairs lined up perfectly. I entered through the loading dock. The catering manager shoved a silver tray into my hands. "Champagne service. Keep moving. No chatting." I blended into the room, weaving between designer gowns and custom suits. Veuve Clicquot flowed like water. Gerald passed me without a glance. Donna paused just long enough to whisper, "Stand up straight." Brandon appeared next, laughing with his groomsmen, adjusting his cufflinks. "Oh hey," he said casually, "make sure there's extra shrimp at my table. You know how Dad gets." "Of course." One of his friends squinted at me. "Who's that?" "Our housekeeper," Brandon said, already turning away. "Housekeeper." Again, I swallowed it like I always did. The ceremony started at 4. Victoria floated down the aisle. Brandon beamed. Gerald and Donna dabbed their eyes like proud parents. I stood at the back, holding champagne I wasn't allowed to drink. For one stupid second, I imagined a different life. Me in a lavender dress, sitting in the front row, being introduced as family. Then Donna caught my eye. That look. "Don't forget your place." I lowered my gaze. That's when I felt it again. Someone watching me. Richard Whitmore stood near the back of the ballroom, hands clasped, eyes locked on my face, not smiling, not clapping, studying. After the ceremony, the photographer called for family photos, bride and groom's families up front. The Whitmores gathered first. Then the Pattersons. I stayed back, tray in hand. The photographer frowned. "What about her? Is she family?" Silence. Donna looked down. Brandon said nothing. Then Richard Whitmore spoke. "Yes," he said firmly. "She's family." Every head turned. "Brianna," he continued, "come stand here." My heart slammed into my ribs. Gerald's face went red, but he couldn't argue. Not with the man who paid for the wedding. I stepped forward, legs shaking. Richard placed a hand on my shoulder. Warm. Steady. "This is where you belong," he said softly. The camera flashed. Richard stared at the screen, eyes filling with tears. "Those eyes," he whispered. "That chin. My God." He walked away, already dialing his phone. I heard fragments. "Certain. Get the file, the 2003 case, and prep a DNA kit tonight." My blood ran cold. Gerald grabbed my arm moments later, dragging me into a service hallway stacked with champagne crates. "What did you tell him?" he hissed. "Nothing." His grip tightened. "If you say anything to anyone, you'll be on the street. No money, no papers, nothing." Donna appeared behind him, smile razor sharp. "After the reception you're cleaning. And you don't speak to Mr. Whitmore again. We are your family." Family. I nodded, shaking, but something had changed. For the first time in my life, someone important had seen me. And believed I mattered. Later, Richard stopped me near the terrace. "May I speak with you privately?" Donna watched from across the room. Richard pulled out a photograph. A young woman holding a baby. Green eyes. My eyes. "This is my sister," he said. "And her daughter. She was taken from a hospital in 2003. My knees nearly gave out. "If I'm right," he whispered, "then the people who raised you stole you." The word echoed in my skull. Stole. For 23 years, I was told I was nothing. Born to serve. Lucky to have scraps. And in 72 hours, a DNA test was about to wipe out every lie I'd ever been fed. But first, I had to survive those 72 hours inside the same house that stole my life. When I walked back into the Patterson house after the wedding, it felt smaller. Meaner. Like the walls knew their secrets were about to spill. Gerald slammed the door behind us. "You embarrassed us," he said, voice low and dangerous. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" "I didn't do anything," I whispered. Donna's smile was gone now. "No pretending. You think that man cares about you," she snapped. "People like us saved you." Saved me. That word echoed in my head while I went back to the basement that night and lay on the same concrete floor I'd slept on since childhood. But something was different. For the first time, I wasn't afraid of them. I was afraid they were afraid of me. The next 3 days were torture. I went through the motions. Cleaning, cooking, scrubbing, while my mind screamed. Every order Gerald barked sounded hollow. Every insult Donna threw landed softer, because in my pocket, folded tight, was a piece of paper. Richard Whitmore's phone number. I replayed his words over and over. "If I'm right, they didn't raise you, they took you." I'd never been allowed to ask questions before. Now, the answers were coming whether they liked it or not. On the third night, my old flip phone buzzed. Unknown number. "RW results are in. Can you meet me tomorrow?" My heart nearly stopped. I typed back with shaking hands. "Me yes." I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, counting every crack, every memory. The cane, the pantry, the rules. The way Donna never hugged me. The way Gerald never used my name unless he was angry. At 5 a.m., I still woke up out of habit. But that morning, I wasn't waking up to serve. I was waking up to find out who I really was. The cafe on Main Street smelled like coffee and cinnamon. It felt unreal, bright, warm, human. Richard sat in the corner, a manila envelope in front of him. He looked like he hadn't slept either. "Brianna," he said softly. I didn't sit down. "Just tell me." He slid the envelope toward me. My hands shook so badly I could barely open it. The words blurred at first. Charts, numbers, probabilities. Then I saw the highlighted line. 99-97% match. Conclusion: the tested individual is the biological daughter of Margaret Eleanor Whitmore. The room tilted. I'm her daughter," I whispered. Richard nodded, tears running freely now. "My niece. My sister's baby. The one we've been looking for 23 years. I pressed the paper to my chest. All those nights I'd cried myself to sleep thinking no one wanted me. I was wrong. Someone had searched for me their entire life. "There's more," Richard said gently. He explained the FBI case, the kidnapping, the trust fund my mother had set up in my name, just in case I was ever found. $12 million, he said. "But this isn't about money, it's about justice. Justice. For a little girl who slept on concrete. For a woman who died of grief." I thought of Donna calling me clumsy. Gerald telling me I didn't exist. "I want them held accountable," I said. Richard nodded. "They will be?" Going back to the Patterson house that day felt surreal. Donna complained about the coffee. Gerald ignored me. They had no idea the FBI was already involved. No idea their entire life was about to collapse. I watched them differently now, not as parents, as criminals. 1 week later, Richard invited them to his estate. Gerald nearly burst with pride. "This is it?" he bragged. "This is our big break." Donna spent days choosing an outfit. They made me come too, to serve refreshments. They never suspected a thing. They thought they were walking into a billionaire's living room. Smiling. Confident. Untouchable. They had no idea they were stepping into a crime scene, one that had been waiting 23 years to close. Richard Whitmore's estate didn't look real. Stone gates, a circular driveway lined with sculpted hedges, a mansion so big it felt like a museum pretending to be a home. Gerald leaned forward in the car, eyes shining. 30 million at least. He muttered. Maybe more. Donna adjusted her pearls. This is our circle now. I sat silently in the back seat. They had no clue this would be the last place they ever lied to me. Inside, Richard greeted them like old friends. Warm handshake for Gerald. Air, kiss for Donna, polite smiles, perfect host. Please, he said smoothly, make yourselves comfortable. They settled into antique armchairs, sipping tea from china that probably cost more than their car. I stayed near the doorway, watching, waiting. Richard leaned back, calm as glass. I wanted to discuss something before Brandon arrives, he said. Gerald nodded eagerly. Of course. Anything. Richard's eyes shifted. Straight to me. Brianna, he said. She's been with your family a long time, hasn't she? Donna answered instantly. Since she was a baby. We adopted her. Adopted? Richard nodded slowly. That's interesting, he said. Because there are no adoption records. Silence fell like a dropped plate. Gerald laughed stiffly. Government paperwork gets lost all the time. I checked the state. Richard continued. No birth certificate. No social security number. No hospital records. Anywhere. Donna's smile cracked. What are you implying? She asked sharply. I'm implying, Richard said, voice suddenly steel, that Brianna has no legal identity. The room went cold. The door behind us opened. Two people stepped in, gray suits. Badges, Gerald Patterson, Donna Patterson. One said. I'm Special Agent Morrison, FBI. Gerald stumbled back. Donna dropped her teacup. It shattered on the rug. You are under arrest. The agent continued. For suspicion of human trafficking, document fraud, and child endangerment. Gerald tried to run. He made it 3 steps. Agent Morrison pinned him against the wall. Donna collapsed onto the sofa, sobbing. Brianna, she cried. Tell them this is a mistake. We're your family. I stepped forward. You raised me as a servant, I said calmly. Not a daughter. Her sobbing turned into choking silence. Brandon and Victoria walked in moments later, fresh from their honeymoon, smiling. Their smiles died instantly. What's going on? Victoria whispered. Richard spoke quietly. Your parents bought a child. The truth hung heavy. The arrests were only the beginning. The trial was coming. And so was the fallout. For 23 years, they told me to stay quiet. To be grateful. To forget. Then I walked into a courtroom and told the whole world exactly what they did to me. The trial started 6 months after the arrest. By then, the Patterson name had become poison. Headlines splashed across local news. Connecticut couple accused of child trafficking. Basement servant revealed as kidnapped heiress. Gerald hated the cameras. Donna hated losing control. I hated remembering. The courtroom smelled like wood polish and old paper. Every bench was full. Reporters leaned forward like predators. Gerald sat stiff in his suit, jaw clenched, eyes burning holes into the back of my head. Donna cried, constantly. Big, theatrical tears. When it was my turn to testify, my legs shook, but my voice didn't. I told them about the basement, the rules, the cane hidden behind cereal boxes, the night I tried to run and was locked away without food. Gasps rippled through the room. Gerald stared straight ahead. Donna sobbed louder. Gerald's defense was simple. Rescued her, he said. She would have been abandoned otherwise. The prosecutor didn't blink. Then where is the adoption paperwork? Silence. Where is her birth certificate? More silence. They showed the ledger, my name, a price, a delivery date, like inventory. Donna turned on Gerald. She claimed she was afraid. That he forced her. That she wanted to love me. The jury didn't buy it. Neither did I. The verdict came down on a Tuesday afternoon. Guilty, human trafficking, document fraud, child endangerment. Gerald got 18 years. Donna got 12. No early parole. When the judge read the sentence, Gerald finally broke, crying, begging. The man who terrorized me for decades couldn't handle consequences. Brandon lost everything. His job vanished overnight. Victoria filed for divorce 3 weeks later. I can't be connected to this, She told him. He called me months later, asking for help. I asked him one question. Did you ever help me? Silence. I hung up. When the prison doors closed behind them, I thought I'd feel victory. Instead, I felt empty. Because no one tells you this part: when the cage disappears, you still don't know how to live outside it. The first night after the sentencing, I didn't know where to go. Not emotionally. Not physically. For 23 years, every hour of my life had been scheduled by fear. Wake up at 5, clean, serve, stay quiet, don't exist. Now no one was telling me what to do. And that terrified me more than the basement ever did. Richard insisted I stay at his estate in Greenwich. He said it gently, like an invitation, not an order. That alone felt strange. The guest room he gave me had windows. Actual windows. I remember standing there at 2 in the morning, curtains open, staring out at the garden lights like they might disappear if I blinked. The bed was too soft, the room was too quiet. I slept on the floor the first night. Old habits die hard. The money came later. Lawyers, court orders, paperwork stacked higher than my old mattress. The trust my mother had set up, before she died, before she ever knew I'd been taken, was activated. $12 million. The banker explained investment strategies, tax shelters, long-term growth. I nodded politely. All I could think was this: my mother loved me enough to plan for my future, even when she didn't know where I was. That realization broke something open inside me, but freedom wasn't instant happiness. It was learning everything I'd never been taught. How to order food without apologizing. How to say no without flinching. How to sit at a table and not feel like I was stealing a seat. Richard arranged therapy. Trauma-informed, survivor-focused. The therapist asked me once, "What do you want?" I froze. No one had ever asked me that. I cried for 20 minutes straight. Richard also helped me fix what Gerald and Donna had destroyed: a real birth certificate, a social security number, a legal name, Brianna Ashford Whitmore. Seeing it in print felt like stepping into my own body for the first time. I enrolled in an adult education program. Math I'd never learned. History I'd missed. Writing that felt like learning a new language. I was behind, embarrassingly behind. But for the first time, no one punished me for not knowing something. They helped me. A year later, I applied to college. I didn't aim high. I didn't think I deserved to. Richard smiled and said, "Apply anyway." The acceptance letter came on a rainy Thursday. Yale University, full scholarship, survivor advocacy program. I read it 6 times before it felt real. Then I sat on the floor and cried like the little girl who never got to dream. I didn't go to prison for revenge. I didn't go for forgiveness. I went because some wounds don't close until you say the words out loud. To the people who caused them. The Federal Correctional Facility sat in the middle of nowhere. Gray concrete, razor wire. The kind of place that drains color from everything, including memories. Richard and my therapist both told me I didn't owe them anything. They were right. But I needed closure. So I signed in, passed through metal detectors, and sat at a steel table bolted to the floor. My hands didn't shake. The guards brought Gerald in first. No suit, no watch, no power. Just an orange jumpsuit hanging loose on a man who once thought he owned me. He didn't look at me at first. Then he did. The same cold eyes, smaller now. "You came," he said. "Yes." Donna followed, face hollow, hair dull, eyes red like she'd cried herself empty. She reached for me instinctively, then remembered where she was. "Brianna," she whispered, "I prayed you'd come." I didn't sit. "I'm not here to reconnect," I said calmly. "I'm here to finish something." Gerald scoffed. "Go ahead." I met his stare. "For 23 years, you told me I was worthless. That I was born to serve. That I should be grateful for scraps." Donna began to cry. I didn't stop. "You locked me in a basement. You beat me when I asked questions. You erased my identity and told me I didn't exist." Gerald's jaw tightened. "You stole me." Silence. Donna sobbed. "We thought we were saving you." "No," I said. "You thought you were getting free labor." She flinched like I'd slapped her. "I had a mother," I continued. "She loved me. She searched for me until it killed her. And you let me believe no one wanted me." Gerald leaned forward, rage flickering. "You should be grateful." That's when I smiled. "No," I said softly. I don't owe you gratitude. I owe myself freedom. I stood. I will never forget what you did. But I will not carry your shame anymore. This is where your control ends. I turned and walked away. They called my name. I didn't look back. Outside, the air felt lighter, like something had finally let go. For 23 years, I believed a lie. That I was born to serve. That I didn't deserve a seat at the table. That love was something other people got. Now I know the truth. I was never born to serve. I was born to be loved. I'm writing this from my dorm room. It's small, plain, nothing like the mansion in Greenwich. But this space is mine. My name is on the door. My books are on the shelves. My future is stacked neatly on a desk that no one can take away from me. Some mornings, I still wake up at 5, not because someone told me to, but because my body remembers. The difference is what I do next. I make coffee. I sit down. I read. No scrubbing. No fear. No whispers telling me I don't belong. Yale wasn't easy. I was behind in ways I didn't even know existed. Social cues. Confidence. Speaking without apologizing. But no one punished me for not knowing. They helped me learn. I study psychology now. Trauma recovery. Human trafficking advocacy. I want to be the person I needed when I was 16 and standing alone at a bus station with 17 and nowhere to go. I want to tell people like me something no one told me growing up. What happened to you was not your fault. Richard calls me his niece without hesitation. Every time he says it, something inside me settles. We go through my mother's things together sometimes. Letters, old photos, hospital bracelets. She had my name picked out before I was born. Brianna. She wrote me a letter the week I was taken. Richard found it in her files. I keep it on my nightstand. My darling Brianna, if you ever read this, know that you were the greatest gift of my life. No matter where you are loved. You are wanted. You are enough. I read it every morning. The money, it helps. Security helps. But it didn't save me. Truth did. Justice did. And choosing myself did. People ask me if I forgive them. I don't. Forgiveness isn't a requirement for healing. Freedom is. Boundaries are. Naming the truth out loud is. If you're watching this and something in your chest feels tight, I want you to hear me. If you were treated like an accessory in your own family, if you were told to stay quiet to keep the peace, if you were made to feel small so someone else could feel powerful, you are not broken. You are not ungrateful. And you were never born to serve. You deserve love. You deserve safety. You deserve a seat at the table. Thank you for staying with my story until the end. If it resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear they matter. And remember this, your past does not get to decide your worth, you do. Brianna,